Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nurzaliza binti Aamin, and today I'll be presenting a study that relates closely to our subject on human resources development. It is based on a journal titled Talent Development Practices at Higher Education Institutions in Malaysia during COVID-19 pandemic, which was published in 2023. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought about unprecedented disruptions across all sectors, including education. In Malaysia, higher education institutions had to pivot quickly, not just in teaching but also in managing and developing their human capital. This case study focuses on how UTHM as an organization adapted its talent development strategies during the pandemic. The findings gives us practical insights into how institutions can continue growing their people even during a crisis. Let's move on to the first checkpoint, which is the main issue. Like many other institutions around the world, Malaysian universities face serious disruptions during the pandemic. And the first challenges faced, which was discussed in the journal, is the disruptions of face-to-face training and development activities. Before the pandemic, talent development in universities heavily relied on in-person programs like physical workshops, seminars, leadership bootcamps, and coaching sessions. These sessions encourage interactions and real-time feedback, which are essential for deep learning. However, due to lockdowns and social distancing, all physical training sessions had to be paused or cancelled. This created a major setback for ongoing training initiatives, particularly those involving hands-on skills such as group collaboration or leadership simulations. As a result, many staff, both academic and administrative, faced a developmental gap, especially those who were due to promotions or skill upgrades. The next issue is the difficulty in performance management during remote work. The sudden shift to working from home introduced new problems in monitoring and evaluating staff performance. In the traditional office settings, performance was often observed through physical attendance, punctuality, or task supervision. But in remote settings, such indicators were no longer visible or relevant. Managers had trouble setting clear expectations, tracking progress, and giving timely feedback. Moreover, there was no unified digital system in place for performance tracking at the start. This made it difficult to differentiate between high and low performance, and many staff felt unsure about how their work was being judged. This ambiguity not only affected productivity, but also staff morale and motivation. Next is the limited access to coaching and mentoring opportunities. Coaching and mentoring plays a crucial role in talent development, especially for junior or new staff members. Normally, these relationships happen organically, which was through informal chats, regular check-ins, or team-based guidance. But with the shift to online work, these touchpoints were disrupted. There was no longer a casual way to approach mentors for quick advice or feedback. And as a result, younger staff or new recruits were left feeling unsupported or isolated. In the absence of structured virtual mentoring, this disconnect led to slower professional development as well as missed opportunities for knowledge sharing and succession planning. And the last issue is the challenges in talent acquisition and onboarding. The hiring and onboarding process was also affected. Public universities typically conduct face-to-face interviews, campus tours, and formal induction programs for new hires. These are important for cultural orientation and early engagement. However, during the pandemic, recruitment has to shift to online platforms. While this enabled some continuity, it lacked the depth and personal touch of physical interactions. New hires reported feeling disconnected and less informed about the university's values and expectations. Also, some departments delayed hiring altogether due to uncertainty and lack of preparation for virtual onboarding, which led to gaps in manpower and delayed service delivery in certain units. Despite these challenges, the university took proactive steps to continue developing its people. The study identified 4 major practices that were successfully implemented, which the first one being performance management system adaptation. The university introduced a hybrid performance management system. Instead of just tracking attendance or physical deliverables, the focus shifted to output-based evaluation, which means what employees could accomplish from home using digital tools. They use platforms like Microsoft Teams and Google Drive for task tracking and documentation. Next is the virtual coaching and training. The university embraced online coaching and webinar-based training sessions, which instead of cancelling development activities, they were moved online. This allowed employees to attend courses, workshops, and even leadership trainings via platforms like Zoom. Employees were encouraged to continue learning from home. And the third one is the leadership development through webinars. Specific efforts were made to enhance leadership skills during the pandemic. Webinars focused on remote leadership, crisis management, as well as emotional intelligence were conducted. This was important to ensure that leaders could still guide their teams effectively even in a digital settings. And the last solution implemented is the digital talent acquisition and pool building. The university continued recruiting new staff through online interviews and virtual assessment centers. They also created a dynamic talent pool, meaning they identified potential talents and kept them in a system for future roles, which helped them stay competitive even in uncertain times. These practices shows that with the right strategy, talent development doesn't have to stop, even during a national crisis. Moving on, the researchers also suggested several ways to improve and sustain these talent development practices, which the first one being institutionalized hybrid training models. Even after the pandemic, a mix of online and offline training should be part of the university's long-term strategy. This ensures flexibility and wider participation from staff who may not always be available for physical sessions. Next, focusing on digital competency. Digital skills are no longer optional. The university should provide regular digital literacy training for all staff, including how to use new software, manage data securely, as well as communicating professionally online. The next recommendation is to revise performance appraisal systems. Appraisal methods should be realistic and results-focused, especially when working remotely. Clear KPIs that align with online working environments should be developed. Lastly, it is recommended to expand leadership development. More investment should go into adaptive leadership training, such as leading through uncertainty, managing hybrid teams, as well as dealing with stress and change effectively. These recommendations aim to future-proof the university's talent development approach. In conclusion, the study shows that talent development is still possible even during a crisis, but it requires adaptability, innovation, and strong leadership. The pandemic forced the university to rethink its approach to performance, learning, and coaching, as well as hiring. From this case, we learned that sustainable talent development in higher education must be flexible, digitally enabled, and staff-centered. With that being said, I hope we can carry forward the momentum from today's discussions and implement these ideas in our respective fields. Thank you for your attention and have a great day.